So this is your backflow valve, and the backflow valve is a one-way valve that protects anything from the outside forcing back in. So this is your sanitary line. It's your sewer line and storm line that goes through. So the water has to go out into the street, so it has a one-way flapper on it so that the water from any pressure or anything backing up for the street doesn't go back into the house. We need to leave access to it, so we just leave it out in the middle of the area where you can get it. So try not to put anything on top of it. If you ever have to get out of it to check it, that's where it is. Next item is our sump. Most people today do have a sump in their house, so they understand how that works. You do have to check it regularly. I always recommend 3 to 4 times a year. Check it to make sure your pump is working. Really easy to do. This is the float off the pump, and this is the power going to the pump. When we bypass the float and plug it into the power, the pump should run. We should be able to hear it. I can hear it and feel it that the pump is running, and it's not being restricted on anything. It's not pumping any water. It's just running through. If we let it run dry like that for a long period of time, we'll burn out the motor. That's the last thing you want.
Right.
Once a year, I call it my April Fool's check. What you want to do is lift up the lid, pull it open. You want to grab that float and lift it up and make sure it activates and turns the pump on, and then let it go, and then when it gets to the bottom, its cycle shuts off. So I usually use a coat hanger, spring it out so I don't have to reach into the dirty water or down into the pit, and I'll hook it with the coat hanger, just hook that little float, lift it up, and there's a little micro switch inside. As it drops down, it'll activate the power to go through here, and then when it comes down, it shuts off the power in here to stop it. Okay, so I do that every spring in April. I call it my April Fool's joke, or check, because you're a fool if you don't check it in April, because that's when the frost starts coming out of the ground, and we definitely need this thing to work properly. Okay, so 3-4 times a year, make sure it's working, and then once a year in April, pull it out and make sure we physically check that float and make sure it's going. Okay?